Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest New York Shakespeare Deep Dive. We are here today with Erin Roth and Diehl of the Ensemble Shakespeare Company, and they're here to tell us all about their upcoming production of Julius Caesar. Before we begin, my name is Rodney Hakim. I'm the voice behind the New York Shakespeare social media, and our goal is to bring you as much Shakespeare content as we can happening in and around the New York scene, whether that is stage performance, a film screening, a book release, a podcast, or whatever the case might be, as long as it's Shakespeare and it's happening in the Big Apple or nearby any other fruits in the general New York vicinity. We try to bring that content to you as much as we can across social media, Instagram, Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, YouTube, WordPress, and more. Stay tuned to New York Shakespeare. Subscribe, like, friend, whatever the verb is for that respective platform, and we'll bring you as much content as we can. Again, we're here today with the wonderful Erin Roth and Diehl of the Ensemble Shakespeare Company. Ladies, tell us what is going on with you. I see you are in matching Ensemble Shakespeare regalia.
Yes, we'll always be reminding people of what you're doing.
That's right. That's right.
Yes, we have T-shirts, we have
So
tote bags.
there's all sorts of merch, but most importantly, our production of Julius Caesar opens on July
10.
10th.
Ninth.
Yeah,
10th.
One preview on the 9th.
preview on the 9th.
And
Okay.
it
You
runs.
heard it here first, New York Shakespeare audience.
Thank
That's
you.
right.
Yes. We're so excited to bring a cast of 15 to really fully bring the Roman Republic into New York City. And a big, beautiful set that's in the round. So the audience is immersed, a little like they were for our Midsummer. And they're going to be a part of our ensemble like they always are.
Yes.
And we'll experience the peak and the fall of Rome together. So
Okay.
it's going to be an amazing, amazing evening of Shakespeare. And we haven't cut Julius Caesar at all. So I think there's going to be some amazing surprises for someone who's never seen the full play in all of its breadth and glory and all of its complexity. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's zoom out for a moment. Just take us a step back. You're doing right now, you have Julius Caesar coming up. Previous to this, you did A Midsummer Night's Dream, all of which got really nice press.
Thank
Tell
you.
us about the Ensemble Shakespeare Company. How did this group get put together?
Well, it came about during the pandemic, of course. That's where the idea came about. And I just, the one thing that felt really, really irreplaceable to me when I was sitting alone in my apartment in New York City at the height of the pandemic was live theater. I just thought that is the one thing I would want to bring back if I could. And when we had no idea whether we would be able to do it or not. So I made a promise to myself that I didn't know how to make it happen. But it turns out it was just step by step. First, we got the actors together, and we started to have these monthly meetings where we would work on a play. We would find out who liked what we were doing. And then eventually, once we felt like we had a great group of people, we thought we've got to do a public performance. So we started with our works in progress, our midsummer works in progress. So we just put up the first 3 scenes, I would say.
First two acts.
First 2 acts of Midsummer. Minimal costume, minimal sets, minimal lighting. We just got on our feet and did it for people. The actors were allowed to call for line if they needed to. It's sort of one step beyond a stage reading. And we got a great reception, and we just said, all right, I guess we're doing this. And Dylan directed that. And then it took us another 8 months maybe to get to a full production of Midsummer. In the meantime, we did another works in progress for Julius Caesar. And now we're doing our full production of that about a year later. Yeah.
And how did the two of you decide to put this project forward together? Are you longtime friends? Have you done shows together in the past?
Yeah, we've known each other for quite some time now. Over a decade.
Yeah.
Yeah, well over a decade actually. We trained with the same woman, and we were in the first cohort of teachers trained by a woman named Patsy Rodenberg, who I'm sure is known to you and probably known to some of your audience. She's currently the head of voice and speech at the RSC, but she's a bit of a British voice and speech and Shakespeare legend.
Yes.
And we became friends not just because I think we share the same views and I think deep obsessive passion about Shakespeare, but then as you might have noticed, we also we got frequently confused for each other by our teacher, very lovably, of course.
Yes.
So that's, we've known each other for quite some time. And I think this was a dream we shared in certain forms. We're like, what if this level of integrity and this kind of profound work that our teacher does was applied to an entire theater company, to an entire method of storytelling with Shakespeare. And so that's what really drives us.
And then Dylan had an idea for Midsummer. And I was like, that's great. You can't cut the play. And she said, okay, all right, we'll do that. And so we did a full text Midsummer last summer, and it was delightful. Yeah.
And it's important. So it's nice, even though we're full text, all of our plays come in well under, I'd say 2.5 hours, under. So you can you get a great night at the theater and hear the full play, and you don't have to get rid of anything.
Yeah.
I'm really glad you said that, because there are certain companies in New York or wherever you go to see Shakespeare that are really insistent on doing full text productions. And there are many, 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 many more that opt to trim scenes and reorder scenes and cut things and abridge the text in a way to make the 2 hours traffic of the stage actually possible, where you cut out enough pages of the text that you can have 2 playable hours, and you don't really go much beyond that to exhaust the audience or the actors or whatever the case is. So if you're doing a full text unabridged version of the shows, Midsummer first, now Julius Caesar, in many cases the way that's done, it's people luxuriate in the words. And I'm not saying that you don't, but I'm saying people often think that full text means it has to be 3 hours, 3.5 hours, 4 hours.
What a great point. Thank you for saying that. We actually believe the opposite, right? I think sometimes the luxuriating is also, and no shade to companies that have to cut or whatever for whatever reason.
People do it brilliantly, and that's wonderful.
But yes, the luxuriating is, I think, often the ego of the actor or the director or the company that thinks, well, of course, we do this so beautifully that you have to sit here for longer while we draw it out. And of course, then, especially with Julius Caesar, you're going to miss the rapidity, the energetic motion of the play that Shakespeare's built into it. It should feel like a freight train that just is barreling through until you make it to the end. And that's why it's so exciting, right? It's an action film at the end.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, we never want to divest the work of what is inherent to it, right? Which is the pace. The iambic pentameter gallops. It should be racing. And usually if you're speaking clearly and directly and you understand what you're saying, the audience comes along.
Yeah, I find that it's more understandable when it's up at pace.
Agreed.
I don't know. I just love to call them out because I love their production. Bedlam's Othello that we just saw. I don't know if you saw it, Rodney, but it was wonderful. It was really up at pace, and I was like, and I understand the play. There we go.
Yeah.
I think the audience can understand a lot more than we think they can, and we've spent a lot of time finding really incredible actors who can really deliver the text while being deeply connected to it. So I think that gives the audience a really good chance of understanding the play.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that you, with the Ensemble Shakespeare Company, have really worked diligently on over the past year or two, is to hone in on that company that you have and get a really strong, tight resident acting group that you're working with that's moving from play to play.
I always say that our ensemble is full of lead actors, because it is. Every single actor in our ensemble is a lead actor. Because we think you need actors of that caliber to deliver every role in the play, so that we can really, really just get back to the play and hear it in its entirety, and its depth and its breadth and its scopes and the heights and the depths. So every one of our actors is a lead actor.
Yeah, because if Shakespeare wrote the part, I think he meant he needed it, or he felt that the story required that part, that servant, that messenger, right? That, sometimes it's also that woman, right? I always love to think when he brings women into his plays, he knew full well he had to find a much younger boy actor who was much less dependable, right? And so he goes, my story needs this. And so I think for us to kind of start to decide what we're cutting in some ways becomes like us taking away from or trying to carve his story. Mm-hmm. And we are afforded the luxury and the privilege, I think, of not having to do that, and instead to demand that our company find every character, every reason, every interaction. What does this tell us about this world? And because we have this deep work that's done every single month of every year for the ensemble, we start rehearsal so much further ahead. We have two amazing guest artists who are joining us for this production, and one of whom is playing Caesar. And he came into the first, we call them ensemble reads because we don't even have a table read. We get on our feet at the beginning. He goes, wow, you guys are so ready. Am I behind? And we said, no. We've just had the fortune to have worked on this. The way we do workshops is that our ensemble, our company, basically we get in the round and we take the play, and no parts are assigned at the outset. So you could be jumping in for a part you would never think that you would play. And so you've heard 5 different versions of what Brutus sounds like, right? And some are what you'd expect. And most are maybe you heard something he says better because it came from a voice that was new.
Yeah.
And so that's how we really we let the play surprise us as opposed to us impressing upon the play.
That's such a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Dylan, your director hat is coming out. You're pulling double duty. You're directing this play and you're performing in it, right?
I am. I think I found that I really like, much like Caesar, it's like you have to be a general, you have to lead from the front, right? I really, at this juncture for ESC, I think it's important that if I make a decision, that I also suffer the consequences of it or reap the benefits of it, so that I know we're both trained actors,
yes,
by trade, and so I think first of all there's an element of perhaps the FOMO, as the kids say, if I were directing and I wasn't in the fray. But I also think the responsibility of my being in the ensemble is such that I'm always deeply connected to the play, so that we as an ensemble can adjust it if need be, can pace it, can breathe together, can discover it together, as opposed to, again, someone coming from the outside. You leave after the first preview and we kind of just throw our hands up in the air. I think I'll stay in the in the actor director role for as long as I can. Because it's also, it's just so fun to act with this ensemble. It's just the most fun on the planet.
It is so delightful. I get to play a plebeian, which makes me really happy in the show. And it's also these characters that maybe you would have thought this was a small role, but then you get into it with the ensemble and you're like, this role is huge. And it's so fun to play. And it's so fun to play with these incredible actors that we get to work with. So
I think that's also one of the ways we tell the public and our company, we truly believe there are no small parts in Shakespeare, because oftentimes we take them because we want them. Like, I'm the soothsayer, and I would not let anyone else play the soothsayer, because if one person's going to say beware the Ides of March, it's me. But that we, that's how someone like Erin, who's just one of the greatest actresses on the planet. I need her to be plebeian number 2. Why? Because I really need we just did a rehearsal with Brutus. And if you have a lame plebeian challenging Brutus, well, it doesn't, we've all stopped watching.
And I think a lot of this work that you're talking about, where people jump in and you discover who is the best fit for the role, a lot of that also comes from the work that you do outside of the rehearsals. You have your monthly workout, you have your a new monthly event that you have, the Speak the Speech, the workouts monthly on a Friday, the Speak the Speech monthly now on a Monday as well. And that's
we're always working craft. I mean, it just never stops. It's like, I like to think of the ensemble like an orchestra. I mean, if you're in the orchestra, you can't stop. You can't stop practicing. You've got to always be working. So we offer classes. I mean, our company members come to classes They are always welcome. But we offer it from the ground up. So we do the workout, so you can come in and do your push-ups, if you will, do your pliés, do your scales, and we can always be working the foundation of what we need to eventually be making really, really great Shakespeare. So the Friday workout is more of an introduction to what we do, and it's a workout of your voice and speech and presence, and we do a little bit of text work. And then the Monday class is a smaller class where you get to work on an entire speech with us, with both of us. Mm-hmm. So you get both, you get Dylan, the director, and you get me, the voice and speech and text person. And that one is just really, really fun as well. Yeah. And eventually we're going to offer a scene study, and we're going to expand our offerings, because it just naturally goes that way. But I always tell people that you've got to have all of this, the foundation of the craft, to be able to rehearse.
Yes.
Like, we really do. Our first day of rehearsal was Monday, and I thought, oh my gosh, we really expect a lot from people. We get up, we do the whole play on our feet the very first day. We never do a table read. We just get up and we just go for it. So we try to start rehearsal a little bit farther along, because Shakespeare is so big and it takes so much to rehearse it that we need every minute of rehearsal time is so precious. So yeah, so that's what our classes sort of lead up to. There's a progression.
Yeah, and it's great for the students in the classes when they see our ensemble, our company members working, because we'll give them just a simple breath note.
Yeah. Right?
And it's a reminder that, you might be playing the most epic lead character, but sometimes it just comes down to the breath. And we all can always work at that granular level, and we have to respect that and enjoy that process, so that we can tell these big stories. But we think, like, usually the simplicity of that foundation is what allows you to very quickly scale up to the heights.
Absolutely. So much fun. It allows your artistry to just bloom. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you have a wonderful foundation from which to work with your wonderful ensemble there at the Ensemble Shakespeare Company. And I personally can't wait for the New York Shakespeare audience to come and check out Julius Caesar with you folks. You are running from July 9th preview, actually July 10th to July 26th over at the Flea in downtown New York. And people can go to your website, ensembleshakespearecompany.com.
Yeah.
Okay. And just for the New York Shakespeare audience, we have a special exclusive announcement. Now, Dylan and Erin, they had announced on social media a discount code or discount offer that people can use to get discount tickets to come see the show. And just for our audience, they're extending that special offer. Tell us a little bit more about it.
So it's a 15% off all tiers of tickets. We have 3 different tiers of tickets for everyone: general admission, Shakespeare for All, and student tickets. So you can get 15% off any of those with using the code THEIDES15. THEIDES 15.
See what we did there?
Yes. And for our New York Shakespeare audience, we're going to extend that. Yes. So you have more time to use it.
More time to get discount tickets.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So you want to make sure you go down and see Erin and Dylan and the rest of the team stab each other brutally, but not murder the text, honor the text, and do a wonderful,
can we take that, Rodney?
job
That
with that. And you can do that. Go to ensembleshakespearecompany.com, visit them on social media, Ensemble Shakespeare. And of course, you can connect with us at New York Shakespeare on Instagram, Facebook, and elsewhere, and we will connect you to this wonderful group. Congratulations, Erin, Dylan. We look forward to the show, and everyone support your local Shakespeare.
Yes.
Can't wait to see you.
Thank you, Rodney.